Hello, everyone. Here is a short video to present you the usability test results we conducted last month for the new Planet for Information Architecture and Navigation. To start with the methodology, we wanted to test different interactive prototypes, which was the result from the working groups with several offices. And the best way to test these prototypes and to get qualitative feedback was to conduct a moderated usability test. This method is used to identify problems in the design of a website, while also uncovering opportunities to improve and learning about the user's behavior and preferences. So basically, we asked test participants to share their screen so we could observe their behavior and guide them through different scenarios and tasks to complete with follow-up questions. So we designed the prototypes and the tests, bearing in mind the main pain points we wanted to solve, as well as the main questions and assumptions we wanted to answer. And the main pain points from our previous research studies are that there is a low use of the navigation bar, that users are confused with the site structure and taxonomy. And most importantly, users have trouble finding the right content. So with the new designs of the new information architecture and navigation, we wanted to answer these main questions. Which navigation components are utilized or go unnoticed? Do users click on the primary navigation menu and how? How easy is it for users to identify where they are on the website? How do users navigate to learn about different topics? And what type of content do users expect behind a category link or a tag link? So once we had defined the how and the what, we needed to recruit participants for the tests. And since we conducted different test scenarios on different screens, mobile and desktop, we needed at least 10 participants, so 5 for each targeted screen. So we reached out to our own external networks, including profiles that fitted with the test requirements. We sent emails to previous research studies participants. We launched also a survey on the GPI website and asked Greenpeace staff to participate as well. And this resulted in getting 13 participants within age range of 18 to 56 years old from different regions such as Americas, Europe, Africa, and India. As mentioned, we designed different scenarios and then designed 2 different tests. The test A purpose was designed to test navigation on desktop and mobile with users who have come from organic search to the Greenpeace homepage to browse and explore the site and learn something new. Whereas test B was designed for users who come to the Greenpeace website via a petition link on social media and would like to do more on the site. With both tests, we mainly aim to observe how users will find information on the topics such as deforestation or plastic, for instance, how they would find ways to get involved, and how they would find an article to read. Overall, we observed that test participants had very similar journeys and feedback in both test A and B, despite having different entry points and experience with the site. And the larger differences were between desktop and mobile versions of the tests. As for the high-level findings and what went well, participants were able to complete all tasks in the scenarios. They were able to successfully navigate away from and to specific pages with a varied number of steps. They also mentioned that the site was clean, clear, intuitive, well-organized, and easy to use. And the main key findings are that all navigation components, including the primary menu, the secondary navigation, the search bar, and in-page content links were utilized. Most, but not all participants had mixed expectations around the secondary navigation behavior. And desktop users largely knew where they were on the site, whereas it was more difficult for mobile users. Overall, when we asked participants to rate the ease of use from 1 to 10, 1 being the most difficult, we got an average rate of 8.7, which is a good score. As for the key findings, overall, most of participants liked the new design of the pages and said it was clean, clear, and intuitive. But only one participant mentioned that there were maybe too many differences between the shapes, for instance, rounded corners, circles, and squares, and too many different colors. For example, they would prefer green over blue links. There were also many mixed reactions on the use of icons. Some really liked them, while others said they were not visually in line with the rest, which is dominated by pictures, and some thought they were cute, but maybe too cute. All participants said the site was easy to navigate and that they could find information easily. They all used the primary navigation on desktop and mobile and appeared to understand the taxonomy and labels from the primary menu. So get informed, take action, get to know us. And as previously mentioned, most but not all participants thought that the secondary navigation would change the content directly underneath and not take them to another spot on the page. Explore by topic, also called quick links, and the bottom page navigation were only used by participants if they scroll down to the bottom naturally. And when it comes to the pages, the Get Informed page that aims to replace the current Explore page was highly appreciated from test participants. Some said that the page has a good overview of all topics and was very easy to navigate. They liked the visuals and illustrations, as well as the quick links at the top of the page. Participants didn't have major difficulties to find the topic pages such as forest, deforestation, or plastic. They used different paths to get to the topic pages. The primary menu first, then clicked either on Get Informed or used the links from the drop-down menu. And some others clicked on the Issues section on the home page. Some participants thought there was too much information on the topic pages, and others thought there wasn't enough. Also, most participants like the new Take Action page that aims to replace the current Act page and the way the actions are organized. They like the variety of actions with different degrees of involvement. However, some participants were a bit confused by the filters under what are you into, mentioning that the design was too similar to the secondary navigation. They didn't know also that like what it would filter on the page, like the entire page or just the content underneath. To find an article and reach a post page, most participants used the primary menu, then Get Informed and clicked on the News and Stories link from the drop-down menu, or they mentioned they would have used the search for it. Most participants expected to find other articles related to the tag and breadcrumbs if they click on it. And they liked how they can keep learning from this page in reference to the Learn More About the Climate link. For the petition page, most participants did not realize they could scroll to learn more when the petition form is at the top of the page. Most of them also said that they would prefer to read more about the problem before signing the petition. As for the key findings for mobile participants, overall, they had no major difficulties to complete the task to navigate the site and find information. Participants all used the burger menu, the tabs menu, and the search bar from the primary navigation without any difficulties. The tabs menu was very clear for most participants, but some didn't know that it could be scrolled horizontally. Also, it wasn't that clear for some participants to know where they were on the site on mobile, especially when they were at a third level of hierarchy, such as the deep dive topic page. And finally, some participants would mentioned that some indicators were missing to scroll horizontally on several blogs. Last but not least, the key findings for desktop participants are that there was a heavy use of the drop-down menu from the primary navigation. It was clear to most participants to know where they were on the site. Some participants had mixed expectations about the secondary navigation behavior, as mentioned previously. And participants all found the search bar, with one participant not immediately finding it or thinking of using it in the task until the end. So overall, we can say that test participants understood how to navigate the site using the primary menu, the secondary navigation, the search bar, and in-page links. So these user tests were largely successful and have helped to inform our qualitative understanding of user behavior around navigation and content. But there are some improvements that can be made both in the short and long term. When it comes to the recommendations for mobile, every participant in the mobile test utilized the burger menu. However, not all participants understood where they were on the site. So the recommendation is to explore this further, either by adding breadcrumbs and or highlighting their place in the burger menu. The search bar largely meets users' goals, but wasn't used as much. Most of the participants did not automatically go to search to complete the tasks until the final task of searching for a person. But when asked about their preferences and expectations around search, they all said it was obvious and clear where the search was, and they will use it as needed. So the recommendation is to keep this as is. Also, the tabs menu largely meets users' goals, but wasn't used as much as the burger menu. And we observed that in-page navigation using icons, pictures, links, etc., meets users' goals. Users scroll through all of the pages and navigated by using the quick links on the pages. Some noted that they may not typically scroll down to some of these, in which case they will use the menu, but if they had scrolled, they would click on them. Also, horizontal scrolling was not as obvious to the users, and the recommendation is to add some overstays and arrows to indicate scrolling. As for the recommendations for desktop, the drop-down menu meets users' goals. Every participant used the drop-down menu and easily found and navigated through this. However, a few participants mentioned that they thought they could only click on the drop-down links and not the parent link. So the recommendation is to either add overstate over the parent link and or an option to see all links. Similarly, to the mobile test, most of the participants did not automatically go to search to complete the tasks until the final task of searching for a person. Two participants noted that they hadn't thought of using the search bar for the other tasks, but that it was obvious, but not something they had thought of. So the recommendation again is to keep the search as is. As next steps, and one we can tackle now is, for example, adding more guidance and indicators, especially on mobile, to better help users understand how to navigate and use some gestures. We can also consider adding more navigation cues, such as breadcrumbs and menu highlights on mobile. We should also check the consistency of design styles, such as rounded corners versus squares, etc. And we can also plan for later to conduct further tests on the secondary navigation to improve the design, as well as the filters. We could also in the future provide options to include more infographics, graph, or references. We could conduct further testing on wording and content once we work with pilot and errors. And overall, along the lifetime of the project implementation, we should run tests and research on live Greenpeace websites and continue to develop other usability studies when needed. And that's pretty much it. If you want to have a look at the interactive prototypes, you can find all the links in the presentation and the slides I'll be sharing with this video. And of course, if you have any suggestions to share to improve this work, feel free to reach out to the Planet 4 team. Thank you. Bye-bye.